steaming. Here, for your eyes only. I'm 9 high. Okay, come and get it. Come and get it, buddy. Another tight player. Hello. What? No, you want to see what I have? I've got 7 drinks. All in?
My name's Pav, and this is day 2 of the record-breaking main event where over 10,000 people entered and over $12 million sits up top for first. In this tournament, you start with 60,000 chips, and I ended day 1 with 87,500, which I'm pretty pleased with. So I'm making my way to the horseshoe right now to find my seat, only to find out that I'm at the opposite end of the casino. I'm actually located in Paris Black, to which I then find out I've sat in the wrong seat on my table. After I embarrassingly find my correct seat, I stack my chips and have a look at the gift that the World Series have given to everyone who made day 2. It's a button, it's got some nice weight to it, it's pretty shiny, and they're celebrating the biggest main event ever of 10,043 entries. Looking at some key hands now, the blinds are 400, 800, I have 88,000. Under the gun opens to 1800, I have pocket 9s and I call. Both the small blind and the big blind call. The flop is Jack 8-3, Club, Diamond. I do not have a club. Everyone checks around on the flop. The turn brings a 10. Everyone checks around on the turn, and the river brings a 6. Everyone checks. I don't think it's worth a value bet here. Anyone can easily check Ace 10, King 10, Queen 10. So I think a pretty standard check. The small blind says 6. I show 9s and scoop a nice little pot. I then open the button with 8-6 suited. The big blind defends and the flop comes 9-9-8, all red cards. I see bet small for 1200, he calls. The turn is the queen, which brings in a double flush draw. He checks and I check back. I have a lot of better hands to bet the turn with. I lose to Ace 8, King 8. He has Jack 10, Queen 10, Queen Jack, pretty standard check. River is the ace of clubs. He checks. I have no reason to bet, bluff, value bet, whatever you want to call it. He flips over ace 5 black cards. So a bit of a light float there with no flush draw, but he takes it down. Now for a monster hand. I pick up Jack 10 of clubs in early position. I make it 1800. The cut off 3 bets to 5800, and I of course call. There's 13,000 in the middle, and the flop comes King, Queen, 8, 2 clubs. I have an open-ended straight draw with a flush draw. I check. He bets small for 3,500, and I guess we have a real decision here on whether we want to check raise or just call. And I think people typically aren't 3-betting enough in the main event or in live poker alone. So I think calling here is a correct play because we're going to be up against, in general, a tighter range, and playing a little bit slower against the tighter range and a very soft field makes the most sense. So I just call, not wanting to play a huge pot right away. The turn is a complete brick, the 7 of hearts. I check again, not wanting to play a leading range, and he bets 8,500 into a pot of 20k. So a really small bet here, and my read is that he's not wanting to put money in the middle here. He doesn't want to put a lot of money in the middle because he likely just has a 1-pair type hand or a bluff. So even though we're playing few flop check raises and on a complete brick on the turn, we're playing very few turn check raises, I figured now's a good time because of this really small turn bet, and it just seemed a little bit weak to me and I wanted to put a lot of pressure on it. I check raise to 24,000 and the man is now in the tank. So after a long tank, he eventually throws it in the bin, and I don't tip in my hand, I just scoop the pot. I will say that I think a lot of people in general in the main event would find a fold here with a lot of really strong hands. I think a good percentage of players are folding with ace-king here, and even some percentage are folding with aces. It's a lot easier to just hear the hand history and say, oh, easy call, but when you put in the actual spot on day 2, early day 2, and you get check call, check raise for a lot of chips, and you got some bloke sitting there with a GG patch, ready to just blast the river, I think it's easy to convince yourself to just fold 1 pair and wait for a later spot. Nice one to take down.
G'day.
And after the table change, I pick up ace queen of diamonds in early position. +1 opens and I 3-bet. He calls and the flop comes jack 10-8 club heart. So no diamond out there. He then donks for more than 50%. He bets 10k into 18k. I decide to call, but I think I make a mistake here. Given the size of my stack, I think I want to be a little bit deeper to peel such a big bet here. We have jacks, we have 10s, we have a little bit of 8s, we have queens, kings, aces, we have ace, queen, ace, king of clubs, we have ace, queen, ace, king of hearts. We have hands with backdoor flush draws, hands with lots of equity on this flop. I think ace, queen, no flush draw is not worth that much here. Especially like if we turn a straight, say a king rolls off, amazing. What value are we really getting? I don't expect him to lead with a set on the flop too much. So unless he has a set, how am I really getting paid here? If he donks a hand like ace jack and the turn's a king, it's going to be really tough to get value. If the turn's a 9, I have a straight now, it's going to be really tough to get value. He really needs to improve to 2-pair plus on the turn for us to get any additional value with the straight. So yeah, I don't think this flop call is very good. But I do call, and the turn is the 6 of clubs, completing a flush. He bets 25k, and I throw it in the bin. But yeah, perhaps I'm just overvaluing my implied odds on the flop there. I don't think it's worth too much. Also, when I do improve, there's going to be some flush completers, which can also be very bad for me. So this is the first hand after coming back from break. I pick up kings and the hijack. I have around 54k. It's been a roller coaster all day. The low jack opens to 4,000, and I, of course, 3-bet to 12k in the hijack. He calls. There's 28,000 in the middle. The flop comes queen, 5-5, hearts. I have the king of hearts. Very nice. He checks, and I bet 7,000 into a pot of 28. A nice small... I could bet even smaller here, by the way. He calls. Now 42,000 in the middle. The turn is a complete brick. 7. He checks, and I make it 15,000. He calls. 72k in the middle. I've only got 18,000 roughly behind. The river brings an irrelevant deuce. He checks, and with my last 18k or so, I go all in. He tank calls, jack, and we get a huge double up. So up to around 108,000 right now, which is obviously massively crucial. I think we're peaking in the tournament. At the start of the day too, I think I reached around 105. We now have 108. I then pick up king, queen, and the low jack and make it 3,500. The small blind calls and the big blind folds. We have around 10,000 in the middle. The flop comes queen, 10-8, club. I don't have a club in my hand. He checks, and I bet around half pot, betting 5k. I can bet larger on the spot as well. I think it's really just player dependent. Like in theory, I'm sure you can pick a bunch of sizes here, like 25, 33, 60%, whatever, without going too huge here. But I decided to go a little bit on the larger size, picking half pot. I might even like 6,000, 6,500 here, if you think players are too sticky. Like if they are not going to fold hands like king 8, ace 8 suited, 7-8 suited, then it just makes a lot of sense to size up. If you think they're going to call every 10 here, then yeah, sizing up I think is probably a little bit better. The turn brings a flush completer, the 3 of clubs. He checks, and I decide to bet 50% pot, which I think is a pretty nice size on a flush completer. I don't want to go too huge with my 1-pair hands, so I think most of my range wants to play bet 50 here. But allowing to keep in hands like jack 10 for a bet 50 is really nice. The river is the deuce of hearts, complete brick. He checks, and I don't think my hand is worth 3 streets. I check, and he tables jacks, so a nice pot there. I will say I looked at the solver just now with this hand, and I made a mistake with my turn bet. I think king queen without a club is not a huge fan of betting against a very suited heavy range on the small blind, so you want to play only 2 streets, and I imagine it likes to go bet flop, check turn, bet river, whereas playing 3 streets is a little bit uncomfortable, just not great for us. So yeah, although that being said, if we think the small blind's calling way too wide, then playing 3 streets is not that bad either. I then pick up ace 3-0 in the big blind. EP opens, the small blind calls, and I complete. 11.5 in the middle. Flop, ace 8-3, 2 hearts. Top and bottom, not bad. Check, check, and EP bets 7k. So a very large bet from EP. The small blind then calls. This is beautiful. And let's talk about what I'm about to do. So typically you wouldn't see much of a raising range on a very dry board like this, especially as a big blind, and especially multi-way. However, I decided to check raise to 24k. The reason being is I think what tends to happen in these large fields is players, even with top pair, don't value bet thin enough on turns. And even when they have monsters like ace king, and let's just say the turn is a flush completer, I see them just check back way too much. So I think a way to counter that is to start putting in money immediately and start fast playing two pairs and sets, even on really dry boards. Unless of course you have a read that someone's crazy. However, when it goes bet and call, I think it's a great spot to check raise. So I make it 24k, EP folds, and the small blind tank folds. But yeah, I try not to beat myself up with this hand. I don't think I killed my action here. I think I'm going to stand by my thought process and just target a bunch of top pair and flush draws here against most opponents who won't value bet thin enough. So actually what ends up happening in the main event is that people are going to bluff rivers too much and have not enough value. So you just call a lot of rivers. You pick off their over bluffs.
Just like I predicted. Hello. I'm drunk. Don't mind.
It's been a long day.
I'm drunk. I'm drunk, but I'm feeling good. I'm mad. I'm mad about your ace queen against my two kings. I'm mad.
To be fair, you brought that upon yourself.
I'm mad. You fucked me.
You brought it.
I'm 62 and you fucked me. I never even.
fucked yourself, to be fair.
Yeah, I didn't fuck myself.
didn't raise.
I slow played
bet
you,
at the
and
end.
yeah. Well, okay, you can look at it that way.
Yeah.
I'm steaming. That's all I can tell you. I'm steaming right now.
Fair enough.
I'm fucking
do it.
steaming.
We all
Here,
do it.
here, for your eyes only. I'm fucking 9 high. Okay, come and get it. Come and get it, buddy. Another tight player. Hello. What? No, you want to see what I have? I've got 7 drinks. All in? Really? Wow, you're very brave. You're very brave. What's that on top? What is that? Tell me what that's on top. I can make my decision. What is that? Is that a cake? No, is that decoration? Yes. Huh? No, what is that? On top of your cards. Look, I can't see it. Is it a pumpkin pie? What is it?
Wario.
Huh?
Wario.
What?
Man, call or not?
No, I'm serious. I want to. It has a big impact on my hand. What is it? Is it a sailboat? What is it? Is it a cupcake? I can't see that far.
Yes.
Can I see it? Okay, buddy, you got me. You got the best fucking hand. Go ahead. You're happy?
I know.
Yeah, you know shit. Fucking 2 queens minimum. Tightest player in this room.
So I am nearing the end of the night and I pick up ace king in the small blind. The cutoff opens and I 3-bet. The big blind then quickly shoves for around 38,000 chips, if I recall correctly. The cutoff folds and I of course call. He flips over king 8 offsuit against my ace king of clubs, so obviously I am loving it here. The flop is 8-4 deuce club. Okay, not a great start, but we've got a flush draw here, we've got some outs. Let's go to the footage and see how the board runs out. An absolute savage blow to the stack towards the end of the night. I didn't play any notable hands after this. There was a couple 3-bet folds, a couple C-bets that didn't work out, and I ended the night with 77,500 chips, which is obviously a big roller coaster today, peaking at 158k. If you like this video and you want to see day 3, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and please let me know, would you have played any hands differently?